And here we are. We're back from fun, back from computer drama, which held up this podcast, where my computer completely crashed with all of our interviews and everything on it. And thank God, we found somebody to find it all and had to buy a new computer and load everything and load new programs and learn the new programs. And now here we are ready with our next podcast episode.
Featuring Jerry Harrison. Thank you for all that extra drama. I won't tell you mine because it doesn't even match. Jerry Harrison is an American musician, songwriter, producer, and entrepreneur. He launched his professional music career with the pioneering band, the Modern Lovers, before joining the iconic new wave group Talking Heads as their keyboardist and guitarist. In 2002, Jerry was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of Talking Heads. One of the band's most celebrated achievements is Stop Making Sense, the groundbreaking 1984 concert film directed by Jonathan Demme and executive produced by longtime manager Gary Kurfirst. Filmed over 4 nights at the Pantages Theatre in Hollywood during the Speaking In Toungues tour, it remains a high watermark in live performance cinema.
And now, Stop Making Sense is back, newly restored in 4K and returning to theaters with a special twist. Each screening features a live appearance by Jerry himself. He kicks things off with personal insights and behind-the-scenes stories from the making of the film and wraps up the experience with a live audience Q&A. We had the incredible opportunity to sit down with Jerry to talk about this exciting new tour, which just kicked off earlier this month.
So let's dive into this unforgettable conversation with the one and only Jerry Harrison of Talking Heads. Hello, Jerry. My name is Rita Wild. That's
Hi.
CW West. Thank you for taking your time with us on this.
Sure.
You obviously were a part of Stop Making Sense. Did you ever, in your wildest imagination, think that it would end up like this 40 years later? People still talking about what a great film it is?
Well, I think that when we finished the film, we knew it was a pretty great film. And I think the decisions we made, for instance, not to have any conversations in it and have it be just a concert film, we felt that there was a sort of narrative to the way the stage is built with the band being added one at a time, created enough of a sort of narrative pathway that it had the ability to last a long time and be able to be watched more than once. We also were sort of self-consciously hoped, and we succeeded in this, that it would join the Rocky Horror Picture Show as one of those films that theaters would play on Friday or Saturday night for a sort of a party. And so once it had done that, the idea that it might last seemed like a possibility. I mean, I am excited and still a little bit astonished of the lasting power of the Talking Heads. Actually, frankly, the lasting power of the Modern Lovers, too. I mean, it's sort of what you set out to do, but you never know if it, you know. I mean, I've made some other great records that were very, very important in their time period, but they really are of a time period. You know, I do think that to a degree, Talking Heads has become, I don't know, more successful now than 10 years ago. And I think that one of the things that's changed is that 10 years ago, people were still listening to, it could be Sirius or radio stations, but it would be the best of the 80s. Mm-hmm. And everything would have a timestamp on it. Whereas now with playlists, people will cross time periods to go, I think this song goes with this song. And suddenly talking songs are mixed with contemporary music or music of very, very different genres, because our music just sort of fits in a given person's idea of a great playlist. And so therefore, I think we've gotten some we've gotten some new fans that maybe wouldn't have happened with that old date-stamped methodology.
I watched it again yesterday, and I was just very impressed with how fresh it was. Mm-hmm. I mean, because I was at the Pantages. I got to see one of the shows, back
Wow.
in '83, which was amazing. And I've seen the film before, but it'd been a while since I've seen it. It was like, my God, the musicianship is just incredible. The strength of the songs, the writing, just the hooks is excellent. You know?
It it's really great. And I think that the new restoration process is like we did just the right amount of using new technology to enhance things. I think the new Atmos mix, if you're in a theater that has good Atmos or at home
Yeah.
theater, it's fantastic. The sort of spatial uh, awareness that you have, you close your eyes and you go like, okay, I can see Bernie's over there and Alex is there and hear this part and percussions, in a way that it didn't have that precision in the original version. And of course, because we were able to find the original negative and clean it and then do a high definition scan. And I also think that the color correction is really beautiful that was done on this one. And I think an interesting thing is that the Tom Tom Club, to me, if you watch the original VHS tape, the Tom Tom Club sort of is brighter than other parts of the movie, and so to a degree, it causes it to stick out. And I remember even Pauline Kael originally said, the only thing I wonder about in this movie, if it really was the Tom Tom Club a good choice. She later on went on to say, I've come around to it. But I think now it just flows beautifully through it. And I think a lot of it has to do with this, the color balancing that went on. So all of these little things. Now, we would have had the option to fix lip sync, which there are places where it's off because it was shot over a number of nights, but we chose, the audio performance from one night. We're not editing with shots. We have one version of the song and we're editing the shots to that. So Lisa Day did a great job within the technology that was we had then, and we could have fixed that, but I think that it would have been. I don't know. I think we decided that was a step too far. This is one of these things. There are these AI tools in particular now that are being added, where things that used to be very, very hard have become easier. But sometimes they don't make it better. I mean, I just read this interesting article about people who have uploaded videos that very deliberately wanted to have a standard definition look. And when they see it played on YouTube, it's been fixed. And it's like, it looks flatter. It looks this, it doesn't look this way, So, there's times when you decide you want to use those tools, and sometimes when you go like, I want to leave it alone. And I think we made all the right choices this time.
And did you take this whole project, Jerry, on yourself of getting the music and remixed it?
Yeah, we remixed it. Yeah, I took it on, yes.
But that had to have been a big project, no?
Yes, it was a huge.
Okay.
We actually, well, the engineer, E.T. Thorngren, who unfortunately was killed in a motorcycle accident about a little over a year ago, was involved in the original album mix for Stop Making Sense. That was the first project we did with him. And I was really the band's representative there. Everybody else had kind of left town. Chris was in town a little bit and came by, but David, I think, was down in Texas already thinking about True Stories.
Yeah.
And Tina was, I can't remember. I think Robin was a really young kid at that time and taking care of him up in Westport, Connecticut. So E.T. and I had sort of did this. And then in 99, when we did the re-release of the movie for the 25th or the 20th, I guess it was. Well, not, 25th it would have been. E.T. was involved with that, and we did the 5/1 mixes at that time. And then E.T. and I went on to do 5/1 mixes of all the Talking Heads albums. So he was very, very involved. And I remember we had, not necessarily with perfect sync to the movie, but we had on hard drive still things from back in 99. So we literally, I think he got going almost a year ahead of time. Once we knew that we had signed a contract with A24, I said, let's get going on this. I mean, E.T. he lived in LA and I live in San Francisco. So he would start projects and then there was a studio, interestingly, that he found in LA that was affordable for doing Atmos mixing. And it ended up being someone who I'd made a record with back in Milwaukee, who had a studio in Milwaukee named David Hensey.
Hmm.
And so we would meet there, and David got very, very obsessed by it as well. And so a lot of loving care went into the sound.
Yeah.
Eventually, Gary Getzman's mixer, Mike Minkler, did the final touches because we wanted to show it in a room such as it was actually the same complex where we mixed the original movie, which was called Warner Hollywood at the time. Before that, it was called tthe, based on Mike Todd, Elizabeth Taylor's first husband.
Okay.
Early, not first, but
yeah,
so many.
One of the many.
One of them.
Yeah, but he maybe the great love of her life. I mean, he was the guy who did Around the World in 80 Days. And he had this sound mixing lot. Then it became Warner Hollywood. Now it's called The Lot, which I have to say is about the most ordinary generic name I could imagine. It's like, boy, you went from something really interesting like Tadeo all the way to The Lot.
The Lot.
With a blue and white label.
Yeah. It's sort of like, I guess it's like Cracker Barrel.
Oh, God.
No kidding. That was quick.
Too soon?
I love the fact that you're announcing the movie ahead of time, talking to people ahead of time, and then they watch the movie, and afterwards you do a Q&A session. How's that for you? Is that fun? Is it something that you aren't really comfortable doing, or?
Well, what I found is that we did a few of these for A24 where the four of us went out and did it. And really, I was the only one who had any information on the technical aspects of what we had done for the restoration. And so I decided, well, I think people will, enjoy having sort of that personal touch and personal, like they can ask a question about various things. There's the inevitable questions about are we reforming and when are we going on tour? But that goes with the territory.
Yeah.
And again, some of it has to do with each place is individual. There are places where the questions are really great, and sometimes where they're kind of ordinary. So some nights are really fun, and some nights it's a little more like work.
And are you playing music also, Jerry, during this?
Okay. No, not on this one. No.
Okay. So
I have been doing that tour with Adrian Belew, as you mentioned.
Right. And then there's that cool that's kind of like your backup band?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, which is fabulous if that ever happens again. So, but it's Jerry Harrison Stop Making Sense screening tour, which begins on September 11th and goes all the way through January 2026. Yeah. And the tickets are available at jerry-harrison.com. So I saw something a long time ago. Did you guys finance this movie yourselves?
We did.
And what was the intention with that? Was it just the full control of it all?
Yes. There was some reluctance. Warner Brothers finally came around, but we had released the live album. The name of this band Talking Heads. Then we did Speaking in Toungues, and then we wanted to do another live album. And they go like, people, you don't do live albums every other album. I mean, you do them after you've built up a certain number of studio albums.
And so hits.
They were less than excited about it. And but they kind of came around. They certainly knew. I think that once they saw the show, this show had been developing. It's very interesting to watch. You can see on YouTube the show that Adrian and I based our tour on, which is Talking Heads 1980 in Rome. I recently acquired the rights to Talking Heads 1982 from the US Festival. And in fact, I have another film that this will come out as a film in the coming year or so. And it's, but it's an in-between band. The song choices are very different. And I can see in this movie certain moves that David sort of refined by the time he got to Stop Making Sense. So there's even the first time we played with an enlarged band, we came out as a four-piece and then we introduced the band. So there was a sense of like we're not the same. We're growing. And then I think David said, like, let's take this to the extreme. We'll go one, two people, three people, four people, five people, you know, six people, and then let's maybe physically do it at the same time. Then there were all of these technical issues of,
Mhm.
you know, we did a Q&A with Questlove at the King's Theatre in Brooklyn. And we bring up the fact that, in-the-ear monitors did not exist at this time. And everyone, but you can see there's no monitors on stage.
Yeah, good
When we,
point.
so when we told him that the monitors were in the risers facing the microphones, so like to get them not to feed back was a
Yeah, or an echo.
yeah. Well, I don't think they're fast enough that wouldn't be an echo, but the feedback would have been a huge issue. So we had to have our stage volume at a very controlled level, so as to be able to hear the monitors well enough to perform the show. He just couldn't believe we did
Yeah,
that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
really is amazing.
Yeah.
Are you going to re-release the soundtrack on Atmos?
I think it's already been done
Oh, really? Okay, I got to go check that out.
by Rhino. Yeah.
Okay, excellent.
I mean, I'd have to see. They may have been just put it out as an album or as a CD. That's a good question.
Well, I'll go look up the
Yeah.
answer and then
Yeah.
go get it. But you've been amazing to speak with. I know we're approaching the end of our time.
We got a few minutes. Don't give up yet, Reeds.
Okay, just want to do that.
We'll take what we can get.
Where are you all located?
We're in Long Beach, California.
Well, that's where E.T. lived. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I grew up in Marin, so I'm not far from you. So beautiful. This time of year in San Francisco, I don't know how it is up there now, but usually the August is with the nice heat and the sun, and you finally get this beautiful weather.
It's
for
great.
like a couple months.
Yep.
It's been pretty cool though, pretty chilly. What makes you happy, Jerry? You've
Well-
done so much, accomplished so much. What is your driving force these days?
Well, there's obviously things within your family. My wife and I just became grandparents, so that makes
Congratulations.
Very-
Congratulations.
yeah. But seeing your children accomplish something that they're proud of and that you are really like is great. I mean, from my personal things, it's been these shows I've been doing with Adrian is like when you have an audience where you have a mixture of this sort of fans that were fans back in the day and they're coming back, and new fans and people are dancing. That's really great to see. And the same thing with the film is when people get up and are dancing in the aisles. I love that. I mean, there's almost two ways to watch the film. One, the ideal is almost the IMAX experience where, everything is just so big. Everyone has an incredibly clear view with that steep stadium seating. Sound is great. And you're just kind of seeing things with a clarity that you had never seen them before. And then the other is it's like a party. You're dancing and you maybe have your back watching the film half the time, but and you can go back and do it again. So both of those are very legitimate ways to experience the film. And I love the fact that both of those exist and that we sort of can provide it in a manner and I think that's one of the reasons that it sort of stays alive, because you can see this in various ways. I mean, frankly, you could put the film on and turn the TV off and still, still be involved with it. It works on all those different levels.
That's
Absolutely.
cool.
Yes.
What's up with a solo album? To me, Casual Gods is still one of my favorites of yours, and Man with a Gun, I think, is just such an incredible song. To this day, I still love that song.
Thank you. Well, what happened a little bit is that when I got so popular as a producer, there was never the length of time. I had never developed the habit of writing songs that I could just turn it on. I had, because because I think that the songwriters like Paul Simon, or I would say David included, that some people spend enough years where they're writing songs all the time that the sort of the barriers that you might put in your own way they know their ways around that, and they can get right to the process. I have an idea. I'm going to start here. Bang. I think you watch this new documentary about Billy Joel. You see that.
Yeah.
But although he talked to me about that. He goes, when I have to write an album, I become an animal. I have to cut everything out. I can't be around my wife. I can't be around anyone. And
Yeah.
and so that was that when I was producing 4 albums a year, there wasn't the sort of open space to do that and to do something unique and wonderful. I mean, I can't say that I wasn't a little self-conscious about lyrics. Having been in a band with both Jonathan Richman and David Byrne, who I consider both extraordinary lyricists, I was very self-conscious about lyrics. I think "Man with a Gun" probably is what I would say my most successful song of writing the lyrics. Have you ever heard the version of "Man with a Gun" that has the Chris Spedding guitar solo at the end?
I don't think so. What is that, like an extended version, or
It was an extended version that was released in Australia. It's probably findable.
is it on like iTunes?
Oh God,
Or YouTube, maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
But it's around someplace.
So what? He added a solo at the end?
Well, what happened is that we went on tour, and that's what he was doing. And then I went back, and I went into the studio, and then sort of edited part of the music from earlier in the song onto the end of the song, and he played a solo.
Wow. No, I'll have to check it out. Now you got me curious.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great.
Well, I do think it would be interesting to do a new solo record. So I have a couple of ideas. I don't know. We'll see.
And you produced one of our guests, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. You produced 4 of his albums?
I think
right?
5.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he's been on a couple times. So
he's a great talent.
Yeah, he is.
God. Yeah, and the tour he's doing right now with I can't remember his name, but anyway. But you're going to be around for September through January, all through. I think mostly the U.S., maybe a little Canada.
Yep, that's right. Yeah, I don't know if there's any Canadian dates.
I can't remember all the dates. So, but that's great. So if you want to see the film, and I assume a lot of it's in kind of small, intimate theaters. This isn't like you're going to go to the Forum or you're going to go to.
Right. This is like I think it's like performing arts centers. You know?
Yeah.
It's like I think it's at the Alex in Glendale, which is a wonderful old kind of theater. It's
I was just talking to my friend Hugh Brown. I don't know if you know who he is. He actually lived in Long Beach. He's an amazing visual artist who did some covers for us. He was the house photographer when we shot Stop Making Sense. He anyway, he also was the art director for, first of all, MCA Records, and then various other companies. And he did a lot of work for Rhino.
Oh, okay.
He's a really amazing guy. I mean, he's really close to you.
That's cool. Yeah,
in touch with him.
Let's call him up.
I was thinking just, as an end kind of note, Talking Heads, I don't think are going to do anything, but if they were, would you guys consider a residency at the Sphere?
Because I think that would be a great choice for us. I think if we were to do a normal tour, people would sort of want us to do an updated version of Stop Making Sense.
Yeah.
And I think that, first of all, the movie does such a great job of capturing it. We're older. I'm not sure that we're never going to have quite the energy. Although I have to say that doing this tour with Adrian, people are pretty surprised at how, it's a very energetic show. But I think the Sphere is like a whole new palette of like, we're a visual artist and like, what are we going to do with it? So I think that'd be a great thing. Obviously, the fact that if you didn't want to, you can just live in the town where it is and play whatever 4 nights a week or whatever it is. It could be great.
Or do the Billy Joel.
Sure. One night at
a month or
Madison Square Garden for
The next
you
10
can do
years.
The movie
next
at the
10
Sphere
years,
because what is it? Wizard of Oz just opened up this week.
Yeah.
So they are doing a movie now, so that would be interesting. I mean,
Yeah,
who knows what the
there are
future's going to bring.
There are some, I think people are trying to be creative about it, but it's an expensive challenge to do the first one.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to you have to have enough shows for it to repeat enough for it to be sort of financially make it a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you so much, Jerry. All the best.
Very awesome, man.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. He was such a delight to speak with. Oh my God. I didn't realize how much I loved him.
And he's like, it's Talking Heads. I mean, come on. Like, what a great movie and what a great soundtrack and what great songs they had. And I was watching it again and just realizing like how eclectic their music really was.
Yep.
At
that time, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact that it really does stand the test of time. I mean, having just seen the film myself, again, it was just like, oh my God, this music is just so good and it's still so fresh.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. It was great to talk to him. I wish we had more time because I think I wound up with like 50 questions. And I know he was like, getting ready for rehearsal and thing, and we barely had any time with him. So we just tried to make the best of it. So I want to give special thanks to John Bleitcher for coordinating the interview.
The Stop Making Sense with Jerry Harrison screenings are now through January 2026. You can find tickets at jerryharrison.com. Follow Jerry on social media at Facebook and Instagram, Jerry Harrison Official.
And check out our show notes. We say this every time. They're on our website, which is rockandrollconfessional.rocks. Yep, it's a real website. There you can find links to some of the subjects talked about in today's show, including links to order tickets to the upcoming screening events, video for Man with a Gun that Jerry was talking about that's got the extended guitar version. We were able to find it, plus some other rare videos and some cool photos.
Thank you very much, CW, for all the extra work that you do on the website, rockandrollconfessional.rocks, ROCKS. Please support the podcast by subscribing wherever you can, writing a review, follow and comment on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and share our posts with your friends.
Yeah, find a friend, find a new friend, find an old friend, and just send it over. Send the episode right over. We appreciate it, as always.
Excellent.
Okay. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. And we'll see everybody soon. Well, maybe you'll hear from us soon. Let's put it that way.